Hey guys, I know it's kind of bad form starting a video off like this, but I just wanted to let you all know that I'm super thankful for you all helping me so much. Our subscriber count has been growing a bunch on YouTube, and YouTube start recommending my videos a little bit. If you want to help the channel grow more, please like, comment, and subscribe. Okay, I'll shut up now. On to the review. I don't get around to watching horror movies very often. It's always been a genre that I avoided because of my overactive imagination. I saw so many horror films as a kid that I would argue that they kind of completely ruined the whole genre for me. My brain just can't separate reality from fiction when it comes to being terrified. I remember watching a zombie movie as a kid, and then I would dream that there were zombies walking down the street and busting into my house. And I had a huge fear of zombies for a very long time, and movies like The Sixth Sense and The Grudge never helped with that. All that to say that occasionally I do watch a horror film or two, and that this time around I'm sure glad that I did. House, a 1977 Japanese horror film, was the brainchild of Nobuhiko Obayashi. Obayashi, who was in no way famous when this movie was created, had spent his career up to that point making television commercials. He had to beg the studio he worked with just to allow him to make the film at all. Originally intended to be a Japanese answer to the world-famous movie Jaws, House had a script completely written by Obayashi and his daughter. The prose was so strange and hard to decipher that no other director would even dream of directing the film, fearing that it would end their career. All of these factors culminated in a fantastically campy film that is a spiritual successor to The Evil Dead. The story follows a schoolgirl and her 6 classmates as they travel to her aunt's country home. But of course, not everything about the house is as it seems. That thing's more haunted than my internet history. Many of the scares and themes are designed by Obayashi using his daughter's real-life fears. A mirror that kills you, a terrifying grandfather clock, a piano that eats you, the list goes on. Though currently House is seen as a marvel of cinematic success and a cult classic, it was received negatively at the time by critics. Though a critical failure, House was a commercial success that spawned a manga, radio play, and many other side products. This is in no doubt partially due to it being so purely Obayashi's vision, where he could truly exercise his interests and skills freely. Much of the movie's greatness can be attributed directly to Obayashi. Much of the editing was done by Obayashi himself, although sometimes his ideas didn't pan out the way that they had in his head. An example of this is when they poured blue paint on one of the actresses to use a color keying effect similar to a green screen to make the parts of her body that turned blue disappear. The editing and effects work is nothing by today's standards, but holding it to the standards of the era, it's one of the best edited films I've ever seen. Many of the edits look childish and amateurish, but this feeds into the film's active and energetic nature that is carried by the young girls that the movie centers around. Each young actress was a model that Obayashi had met in his time working with commercials. In fact, only 2 of the actors in the film were trained classically with any experience in feature films. This, in combination with the screenplay, gives the movie a feeling of going on a trip with friends, and you can really feel the friendship the characters share. Though the acting is subpar at best for the most part, and the sets are in a similar boat. The entire film was filmed on a set, but the film's backdrops for clouds and open skies are really distracting, even considering the time in which the movie was made. The whole set quality can kind of be summed up as similar to Goosebumps or any other child horror show. I think it's up to the individual if this is a good or bad thing, but I personally found it a bit distracting whenever there was a scene with the sky in shot. Other than those shots with the sky, however, I found myself loving these cheap sets and props. The movie was constantly making me wish that I was there on the set myself, filming a movie with all of these fun props and objects. This doesn't stop the cinematography from being generally well done. The props are used to the fullest sense that they can be. Though the entire film was shot only over 2 months with no storyboard, there are takes of people in broken framed glass to give you an unsettling feeling, and some scenes feel like they're right out of a fairy tale with bright colors or hand-done animation like Alice in Wonderland. House is a collage through and through, a series of clips that are consistent only through the lens of a madman's world, playing along the tune of a very specific stream of consciousness and being distilled down into a fine wine. Probably in a prison toilet. Though music plays a big part in most horror film, the soundtrack for House is nothing akin to them. Much of the music is upbeat and almost happy sounding, giving the movie a playful feeling even though something horrible or terrifying is happening on screen. It's actually been playing in the background of this video the whole time. Well, you know what, I take that back. Maybe it's not terrifying today, but I'm pretty sure that in 1977, House was about as terrifying as a broken condom. In addition to all of this, Obayashi was of the opinion that young people should contribute to the film's soundtrack and suggested a rock band to create pieces for the film based on the piano compositions of the film's composer. I feel like I really can't recommend House enough. In a world where a lot of films have fallen into what now feels like trope-filled standard screenwriting procedure, House is a breath of fresh air. It's silly, fun, and just horrific enough to keep you interested. The film also has an anti-war message that I didn't even touch on because I didn't want to extend the script any longer than it has to be. What faults the movie has almost completely play into the themes and become its strengths. It's so difficult to explain to individuals what makes House so different from other films that a Toho screenwriter was quoted as saying that Toho was tired of losing money on comprehensive films and wanted to give something incomprehensible on paper, like House, a shot. I can't recommend the film enough. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Obayashi's House, 1977, gets a 9 out of 10. Great. I'll probably watch this one again. This is going on the Halloween watch list, so I hope you guys are ready to watch it with me on Twitch. Speaking of which, I have a Twitch channel now, where you can find me at twitch.tv/I'llReviewAnything. A Discord channel you can find in the description if you want to join the We Discuss Anything community. And don't forget to just subscribe to the channel if you liked the video. It would mean a lot to me. Sharing the video or liking it would also just help out a whole bunch. Thank you for watching. I love you.